Hello. Welcome to Theater for One. My name is Steve CUIFFO, and this is it. This is Theater for One.
I'm a set designer, so I'm always thinking about the relationship between the audience and the actor and wondering what would happen if I distilled that relationship to its most pure experience. And it really began as an experiment. I was also influenced, having seen a magician perform at a wedding directly in front of me. He did a trick for me, and the experience of seeing something privately that you normally experience publicly I found to be startling and moving, and wanted to see if I could recreate that.
It's small size. There's room for just me on this side, the performer side, and the audience side. There's room for only one audience member. But for all intents and purposes, this is a fully functioning theater.
Anything that matters in a large-scale theater, it's the exact same relationship, just at a different scale.
There's lights, sound, microphones, a set, as you can see, and believe it or not, there's actually air conditioning in here as well. So it's another benefit for coming to Theater for One in Times Square on probably the hottest days of 2011 so far.
I'm the stage manager of Theater for One, and so I'm basically just monitoring what's going on in the booth and running the lights and the sound. I have a video feed that comes right here to a small little monitor from the booth. I have an audio feed, so I hear and see what's going on, and I'm cueing when the door, the slider door opens and closes, when audience members come in and out of the booth, and the lights coming up and down and all of that.
I help run the door for Theater for One. I guess I help people into the box. I reveal the performer when it's time, and then I help them out at the end.
When an audience member comes in here, because it's so intimate, you know, they have to feel like they're in comfortable hands and not put on the spot, and everybody reacts to it differently. And the fact that you always have a different audience member and you don't know who it is, because anybody can come in from the great Times Square of the world into this place, and so that's the exciting challenge.
We just saw the door close there, so that means the show is over.
It's great. It's really nice.
It's just you and the performer. You kind of don't know where to look, so you're really engaged with the performer. He asked me to, you know, sort of participate and kind of, I guess, you know, break the wall between the performer and the audience. So you're not sure whether you should do that or not, but I did, and yeah, it was really powerful.
You know, I think a lot of people are afraid it's audience participation. I don't really consider it audience participation, but I think there's a shared responsibility and a shared experience that just equalizes the relationship between the performer and the audience member.
Every different person I do it to, I sort of incorporate them into the story as being possibly a family member, either a sibling, a brother or a sister. And it's a story that involves sort of both of us growing up and our relationship and how we sort of grew apart and then seeing each other again. There's a certain intimacy that this kind of environment lends to the piece. It's been one of the most interesting theatrical experiences I've ever done.
I have a cue light down there, which is how I tell when to open and close the door. When it goes on, it's my standby, and then when it turns off, it means I have to do something.
It's a little strange in the beginning, but then you start to feel very catered to and individually performed to, and that's an amazing feeling. I've never done that before, and it's something that I'll definitely always remember. Initially, I didn't know if part of the act was for me not to respond, but then she put her hand out even further. She reached out and completed the interaction. She gave me a soldier to keep forever, forever. That's what she said.
The Times Square Alliance for Public Art saw the website and invited the project here last year. When I first began the project, I was touring the peep show booths in the neighborhood, looking for their architecture, their structure, and so to be invited back to Times Square where the project began its research was perfect.